we are going to be seeing temperatures that could be potentially record-breaking in the next week across portions of the United States. And this is all going to be because of a pattern called the Ring of Fire. And we're going to break down what your area may expect in terms of severe weather, along with in terms of heat. So, moving on here to get right into things with the day one outlook, we do actually have a marginal risk of severe weather in play today, anywhere from portions of Pennsylvania back into portions of Montana and South Dakota. That also extends into the Texas Panhandle, and we do actually have no tornado outlook, 5% wind, and 2 separate 5% hail outlooks, one back here in Michigan and one over here extending for portions of South Dakota and Montana back into portions of Colorado. Moving on to tomorrow, we have 2 separate marginal risks extending from portions of Maine back onto portions of the East Coast. Then we have another one extending from portions of Minnesota back into Montana and South Dakota. Now, tomorrow also is no tornado risk, 5% wind, and a 5% hail. Day 3 outlook, we have another 2 separate marginal risks, one extending from portions of Iowa into portions of Ohio and Michigan, and another extending from portions like Idaho back into portions in North and South Dakota. And nothing too crazy looks to be in terms of severe weather in the near future. Here's what radar could look like today in the Central Plains. And you can tell we're going to see storms go off this afternoon into this evening, anywhere from Kansas City back into portions of western Oklahoma into the Texas Panhandle, all the way up through portions of northern New Mexico into portions of eastern Wyoming through central Colorado. There's going to be a very large area that we have to watch for, but not overall high-end severe threat in play today. And here's what it may look like here in portions of Michigan, here in like the Midwest. And it's really painting that same picture. We're going to see some storms go up anywhere from portions of Michigan back into portions of Indiana and Illinois. So we're just going to have to watch it closely. I am actually going out of town today, so this will be my video upload. We will be back at it Saturday, though. And here we are shifting to the northern plains. This is what we could expect to see for tomorrow. And actually, let me put this on 060. Alright. So here's what we can expect tomorrow up here in the northern plains. Till a few storms can go up there in portions of North Dakota. And they are going to bring a severe risk. It's just going to be a matter of how long. And we actually may see a slight risk addition. Just going to have to watch it closely, though. And here's what we could expect up here in portions of the Northeast. And we're actually going to see storms today start pushing in from Canada. And we actually may have to watch for a isolated severe potential in New York and Pennsylvania. I'm watching it closely. But then here, moving into tomorrow, we're going to see some storms go up here in New York. And they may actually clip portions of northern Pennsylvania, so we're going to watch it closely. But overall, like I said, nothing too crazy. Damaging winds, large hail, and I would not rule out a brief tornado somewhere in the next 3 days, but overall a very low-end threat. And this is what we're going to pull up next. It's going to be the GFS. And we're going to pull up the jet stream. Here we are. So this is how our jet stream sits right now. As you can tell, pretty wonky. We have a few different systems. So we have a tropical system trying to develop back here in the Gulf. We have a tropical system trying to develop over here in the Pacific. Then our jet stream here. Very wonky looking, but as we move forward, as you can tell, our jet stream, it's going to stay lifted to the north like it has all summer. And we actually may see this dip here. And this may lead to a few severe systems. One would be way off here in Canada. And another one could be along the northern plains, and this could cause, if it starts to dip south, this could cause a very large severe event across much of the northern plains into portions of the Midwest and even the Northeast. We're going to watch it. This is the time of year that we have to watch anywhere from shortwave troughs to anything that can come off the Rockies. So we're going to watch it closely. As you can tell here at the start of August, we actually do get a system that ejects north off the Rockies. And this is where we have to watch closely because we have a dip in our jet stream back here. And then we have another dip over here. So we gotta watch here for any system to get going and try and make its way to the southeast. And this is derecho season, so we watch that every day, looking at models. What are the models showing? Is there going to be a derecho potential anywhere in the near future? And that's whenever we go ahead and head over here to precipitation. And you can tell most of those storms do actually stay off to the north, like the jet stream would be saying. And here's where we have to watch is these systems here. Now, once we get closer, we'll get our short range model guidance, which is a lot more accurate. But we're definitely going to have to be watching this closely, as severe weather could be on the rise into portions of August as we get into the start. And I do think the tropics are going to wake up here in August. I really do. So, overall, nothing too crazy, but we're going to watch it closely. And here is that record-breaking heat that we are watching for. And moving forward here, you can tell we're going to see some temperatures, but here are the low temperatures. You can tell some places, even down here in Florida, don't even get out of the mid-80s for their low temperature. And we just see low temperatures all the way in the Northeast, 73 degrees up here in Maine. And that is actually hotter than some places in Texas for the low temperature. Back here in South Texas, we have a temperature at 70 here near Amarillo, 68, 65 along the border in New Mexico and Texas. So we're going to watch it, as these are going to be some warm temperatures, not only overnight, but the high temperatures. The actual high temperature over there in South Carolina could be 102, 103 degrees, 102 back here in Kansas. So it is going to be hot, hot, hot. That is one thing for sure. And we're definitely going to watch this. And we could actually see some places near 110 degrees Fahrenheit. That's actual temperature, keep in mind. I saw 109 in one area over here. So we're definitely going to have to be watching it. Down here in Georgia, we're also going to have to watch. So, like I said, it's going to be extremely hot. We're going to see the potential for some record-breaking temperatures. So we're just going to keep an eye on it. And if we actually head over here to the Climate Prediction Center, and these are their forecasts, the 6 to 10 day, no surprise, this map is filled with orange and red. Red indicates warmer temperatures. This blue actually indicates cooler than average. But whenever we head over here to look even farther out in the 8 to 14 day, you can see it looks like we may actually get a cool off. So we're going to watch it closely. But precipitation wise, we're going to be below average anywhere from some places in the northern plains back through the Midwest into the Northeast. And in the 8 to 14 day precipitation, it looks like the Northeast and the Ohio Valley and along with portions of the Midwest are going to be below average, with above average precipitation for much more of the United States. And I am going to pull up the NWS hazards real fast. And all of these orange boxes that you see for counties are heat advisories, with this magenta color being extreme heat warnings. So we have extreme heat warnings across a large area, heat advisories across a large area. We have extreme heat watches, which are these red boxes. We have flood watches. I mean, we even have a flood warning in effect in a few areas. So we're going to watch it. Red flag warnings over here. So we're watching it closely, that is for sure. And this is the European model, and this is the jet stream. And it is showing that same picture. Jet stream lifted extremely far off to the north. So we're just going to have to watch this extremely closely like we always do. And I will provide updates every day that I can. And here is what radar may look like. It's going to show that same picture. Maybe a bit above average on precipitation back here in the southern plains, actually heading into August. But we're going to have to watch for some storm systems there in the northern plains, which could bring derecho potential. So we're definitely going to watch it closely. And before we end off this video, I did actually want to go over our tropical potential back here in the Gulf. It is a 10% chance of formation in the next 2 and 7 days. This extends from portions near Louisiana, back near portions of eastern Texas, southeastern Texas. And if I actually go ahead and pull up tropical tidbits and move this to the southeast on regions, let's go to, yeah, right here. You can tell that system never does develop a low pressure system, but it does bring heavy rainfall. And this is our ring of fire. Whenever we zoom it in here, we have our high pressure system dominating the southern plains. So we're watching it as that is going to limit precipitation until this can move off to the east. We're not going to be seeing much in the way of precipitation across portions of Kansas, Oklahoma, along with Texas. And I am going to actually pull up my live sub count here real fast. If it would load, it would be nice. And here we are. So here, before we end off this video, thank you guys so much for 984 subscribers. If you are watching this and you made it this far and you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing, as we are getting close to 1,000 subscribers. You can actually see here, it shows 1,000 down here as we are nearing that mark. Only 16 away. So if you could do me a favor and please subscribe, it would be very helpful.